Welcome to the ABEL OCFSync Quick Start tutorial. This tutorial will show you how to submit an OCF 21B standard automobile insurance form to the Health Claims for Auto Insurance System, HCI for short. This tutorial is limited in its scope and has been created to simply show you how quick and easy it is to submit an invoice created in Ablenet from ABEL OCFSync. As we walk through the tutorial, we'll be entering some sample data. In doing so, we hope that this will give you a better hands-on feel for how the product actually works. Before we can start the tutorial, we'll need to set up the following HCI and Ablenet information. You'll need to register with HCI and obtain a username and password. In Ablenet, you'll need to add a fictitious patient and assign a third-party carrier with MVA coverage type on the extra tab. Make sure there is a check mark in the address statements to insurance company box. If we bring up my patient, June Elder, you'll see that the coverage information I have is with Allstate, and I have selected MVA as the type of coverage, and I have checked off address statements to the insurance company. This is what indicates to the system to show June Elder within the ABEL OCFSync product. The next thing that we need to do is go into the service codes and set up a service code with the correct indicators so that it will be synchronized with the OCF product. So here I have 510 for physio, and I have given it a CCI code of SZZPR. I've indicated that the unit of measurement is a session, and I have said that a diagnostic code is required sometimes. So we can close that window down, and then if we go into File Update and Diagnostic Codes, I have a code in here of 724 for lower back pain, and I have given it an ICD code of M54.5. These indicators are what tell the system to use those codes in the OCFSync. So now we'll open up the ABEL OCFSync product, and I can simply type in admin and admin. Now, because we have already used this product before, there are patients here. When you first open it up, you're going to be greeted with the facility configuration. You'll need to fill this form out. Where I have things filled out, those are mandatory fields, and they will be in pink for you. So you've put your facility name, your address information, phone number, who the check is payable to, the GST and PST rate, and then your HCI username and password. Once you do that, it's going to go through and it's going to do a synchronization with HCI for all the insurance companies. It will also do a synchronization for all the providers. It will then bring up these HCI providers for you to map within ABEL. Okay, so for instance, John Smith. He exists on my HCI system with an ID of 1038. So I have to make sure that within Ablenet, he is in here also as John Smith, and his uninsured billing ID number is 1038. So once that's done, then we are ready to go. Now, the next step for us is to select the patient. As you can see, I have 3 patients here, but you'll have many more than that. You can search for the patient using their first name, last name, phone number, or patient ID. If I choose last name and I search for Elder, it's going to automatically highlight the patient that I'm looking for. I'll click on View, and this is June Elder's patient chart. The fields up at the top are all in gray. These come directly from Ablenet, so you don't ever have to worry about them in OCFSync. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to click to add an OCF21 from Ablenet Invoice. That will bring up this dialog box. The form type we can choose is an OCF21B or an OCF21C. We'll do the B form, so I'm going to leave that as selected. Right now there are no invoices shown because I've done this a couple of times and that invoice has already been sent in Ablenet. That's how it's showing up. And we can look at that on the Financial tab where it says Statement Sent. So once it says Statement Sent, it's not going to show up there unless you check off all the outstanding invoices. So we're going to select that, and that will open up the 21B form. Now the only thing that I'm going to have to fill out on this form is the date of the accident. All the other tabs are in black, which means the information is complete. So now I can go through and just review them and make sure that I have everything in there and that everything is correct. So we know that that's the invoice number, that's who my check's payable to, this is the injury and sequela information, these are all the invoices that I'm billing. If they had any other insurance information, it would show up on this screen, or any other insurance amounts would show up here, and additional payments or whatever would show here. So here's what we're proposing to have paid. Once it's been approved, it will show up on this side. There's also a screen for additional comments if you need to pull any in. If you select attachments, this becomes a mandatory field. Otherwise, it's totally optional. So we can just now say OK, and we now get the message that the form is complete enough for submission. Would we like to place it in the outbox? We're going to say no for now. What the outbox does is you can create many of these forms for different patients, place them all in the outbox, and then you can go and synchronize your outbox and send them all at once. Or you can just go and submit one at a time. So after you've created it, you can click on the Submit Now, say yes, we want to submit, and it's going to go to HCI, and it's using, there's the document number. So now that we know it has been submitted to HCI and everything's fine. What we can also do is if we realize that we made a mistake with that, we can withdraw that. And just click on withdraw, and there's no document number and it says complete again. So if you realize that you made a mistake on the form and you didn't bill for a day, you can then go back and add it in again. Now if we look at another patient, Russ Doe, and we go in and we're going to add an invoice for him, you'll notice that there are some pink fields on the applicant information. These must be filled in before it can be sent. Likewise, if there was any other missing information on any of these tabs that was required, the tab color would appear in pink so that you would be indicated that that was needed to be filled out. So all we need to do is just correct that and it does not like my L4. Okay, so now it says complete, and we're not going to place that in the outbox. That concludes the tutorial. I hope you found it helpful, and if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to call our help desk.